Hey, so it turns out last week's Rebuilding Smackdown did really well, in spite of YouTube making me gut the episode about 4 or 5 times before most of you actually saw it. So big thank you to all of you that commented, liked, shared the video, and everything else. On to the Q&A.
Hachi asked 3 questions. Will the Hardy Boys have their correct loaded theme? Number 2, will Jeff Hardy have one of his late 2002 glow paint attires? And number 3, did you ever fix the issue with the Smackdown meters in Shut Your Mouth never filling up when emulating the game?
Okay, let's get these out. So yes, the Hardys will have their proper loaded theme, and everyone else who didn't have their proper themes in Smackdown Shut Your Mouth do now. Also, yes, on the 2002 to 2003 attire pack, Jeff Hardy will have a glow paint attire. Lastly, the thing about the Smackdown meter for PCSX2, that is an emulation problem, not a problem with any type of retail or mod version. That's just how the emulator on its current state displays that icon. It will likely change over versions of PCSX2, but that's nothing to do with me, unfortunately.
Dr. Triceps asks, Scott Hall, can we see some gameplay?
Yep, we'll have some Scott Hall footage that will feature in the features video that will go live in a few weeks.
Sean O'Connor writes, as you have tested putting Scott Hall back into the game, do you plan on putting back other wrestlers whose faces and cool names were left in the Creator Wrestler? The likes of Just Incredible, Big Boss Man, D'Lo Brown, Mr. Perfect, to name a few. Awesome content, my friend. Keep it up.
Yes, but a little differently than just straight up created mods. As you may have been aware, I've been talking about a change to the creation suite that will be featured on the features video. So what I've actually done is I've taken textures from Smackdown 2, WWF Just Bring It, and Royal Rumble, and put them in the Creator Wrestler mode. So you actually have face textures and attire and proper attire textures. So you could, for example, take the Road Dogg's hair and head and put the face texture on him and really make a cool Road Dogg. I'm not great with this era of Creator Wrestler, so it'll be up to you guys to make really good creations and maybe share your saves with me and show me. But yes, so you'll basically be able to recreate people such as Just Incredible, Big Boss Man, and whoever else.
Justin asked, if Rey Mysterio won't be a part of the 2002 to 2003 pack, which is understandable due to his core parts already being in the game, will we get his entrance theme and Titantron in the game?
Yes, Rey Mysterio's theme and Titantron will be in, as well as other superstars like Goldberg. So there'll be a whole host of extra Trons and music.
Darren Smith asked, will Shane McMahon be playable in season mode?
Yes, Shane will be fully playable in season mode, draftable, everything. And in later builds, I will actually enable the cutscenes that are specific to Shane McMahon for season. So don't worry, you can do everything with Shane.
Max Power asks, question for the Q&A video, how many attires per wrestler? 5 like in Here Comes the Pain Definitive?
Okay, so Smackdown Shut Your Mouth is built a little differently than Here Comes the Pain is. So it's going to be 2 to 3 attires per wrestler. But there'll be loads of different attire packs that you can choose from. And you're not limited to, say, one version. Obviously, if you're on Patreon at the moment when these come out in December, you can download whatever one you want, or download them all and then just mix and match and play what you feel like at the time. It's not going to affect your game save, so you can have all the attires. But on the actual physical disc, I suppose, you're limited to 2 to 3 per wrestler.
Giuseppe asked, could you put Eddie's black and red attires on this Here Comes the Pain model like you did with Benoit in the Definitive Edition?
If you mean for Here Comes the Pain, absolutely. I'll be doing that when we get the next update out, which will separate the WWE and WWF versions a bit more, making all the WWE attires for the WWE versions the default for season, and the WWF ones having those as the default for season. So yes, you will have short hair Eddie with the red and black tights.
Comic Clash asks, did you mean all the arenas will have the WWF logo on the arena sets, tables, and turnbuckles?
Yes, in the first version of the WWF title pack version of Shut Your Mouth, if that makes sense, all the arenas that had WWF logos in the original, I suppose, E3 build will have them here. So they'll have the WWF logos on the turnbuckles and the announce tables and things like that. However, moving forward, when we get to a version 2 update, the WWF title version will, I suppose, expand more which will then have me going and changing the logos on the Trons and other things that weren't actually touched at that point and putting them back as WWF everywhere. So you'll end up with WWF all over the arenas, so not to worry.
Harry Stevens asked, will the WWF version have WWF logos where they still remain? In your Here Comes the Pain video, you showed off the women's title with the WWF logo still intact.
Yes, wherever the WWF logo is still present, I have kept it there and kept it intact. So for all the titles, if the titles do still contain the WWF logo, like the women's title, it's still on there, not to worry. But as for the Big Eagle title, as you know, it is blacked out with just a blank slate where the WWF logo is. I'm leaving that like that, at least for now, just so when you download it initially, you've got it exactly how it was in Trailer 1.
A lot of you asked about the Roy's War 2000/2001 stage pre-brand split, so I'll try to answer all of your questions in a more general sense. So I've picked the two questions that really summarize these. Dan Tomlinson asked, loving the series, as you noted, the new updated stage for Raw in 2002 was shown off in May of 2002. I was just wondering, are there any elements in the game's prior build suggesting that the set used up until the brand extension was intended to be included?
There are a few holdover things, I assume placeholders such as logos and things like that for season. Outside of that, not really, but from what I can tell is they started off with the Just Bring It rings as a base, hence why they're so much bigger in the earlier builds and got smaller in the later build. But there doesn't seem to be actual a physically made Roy's War 2000-2001 set done by them. It was just the Smackdown set, and then it seemed to be some of the pay-per-views, not all of them, but a few of them that were made specifically for Trailer 1.
And the second question, Mito YT asks, will the Raw stage from late 2001-2002 be featured in the definitive edition of Smackdown Shut Your Mouth?
Yes, there will be a Roy's War 2000-2001 arena complete with working side and Minitrons. However, they won't be in the first version of the WWF pack, they'll be in the second. Reason being, the first version is to accurately depict what was seen in Trailer 1, and obviously we knew that there was already the Raw 2002 arena there. But no worries, there will be a Roy's War 2000-2001. I know it's an extremely popular arena, it's my favorite Raw arena. So it will be in the second version of this, along with a few other arenas like Invasion and Fully Loaded and a few others.
JKD32332 asked, can you put the chart you made in Patreon? Also, for the 2002-2003 attire pack, will they also have 2002-2003 theme songs and Titantrons? For example, The Rock, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Titantrons, Brock Lesnar, Titantron, Matt Hardy, Shawn Michaels, Only Music, etc.
Okay, let's answer the easy question first. Yes, the 2002-2003 pack will contain Titantrons and music from that era to match all the superstars. Second question, if people didn't catch the initial airing of Rebuilding SmackDown Episode 3 before YouTube pulled it, it had a chart as I listed the changes that was happening in the WWE at the time. It had a high quality press trailer for SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and a whole bunch of other stuff too. I am thinking of uploading that stuff to a different video platform later, so the initial version does air on YouTube, but if this happens again, I will upload an uncut version somewhere else. The other thing I thought of for Patreons, I thought, how about I go back and add back in the footage I cut for the SmackDown Here Comes the Pain episode and the SmackDown Just Bring It episode, maybe touch it up with things I knew I couldn't add for YouTube, and then also pair that with the uncut SmackDown Shut Your Mouth episode and release them kind of like a digital release. So you get the episode, but then you get all kinds of extra stuff too. So you'll get like the high quality press trailers and whatnot, you know, as I guess bonus features that are all featured in the episode. So I thought, what if I just wrap that up into a little package and you guys could just download that? That's just a thought though, it's not, there's no confirmation. I just thought, you know, let me know what you think. If you're a Patreon, you know, type me a comment or a message and say, I'd really like that, and I'll see if there's much point in doing it.
Glauging asked, this is my favorite game. Will all versions of this be released for Patreons in December?
Oof, okay, yes and no. Basically, the ones that will come out in December, you will be able to pick between the WWF, WCW, and Undisputed Championships. You'll also have attire packs ranging from the default attires as well as attires from 2001 to 2002. There will be a 2003 attire pack as well, but that will be released a bit later on, maybe after December, just because I'm still working on some of those gears.
F. Mecca had 2 questions. Number 1, will you do something with the Armageddon stage, since it was replaced by Vengeance 2001? Post-Judgment Day pay-per-view arenas are based on the 2001 ones. A generic one based on Fully Loaded had to be used. Perhaps use 2000 or 2002 Armageddon stage? Second question, are you doing this with Smackdown 2? There's a big roadblock for full Big Show and Shamrock unlocking. The cutscene disable flag in the cutscene EXE. They revert to the Rock character ID 0 if forced to appear in season mode cutscenes. Trons can be converted from Smackdown 1 BTW.
Not for the first release, but probably the second or third, Armageddon will change to Armageddon 2000. That won't be the only change. You will have a choice between Fully Loaded or Invasion as the replacement for the second Vengeance with the V. So yeah, got some arenas coming. Yes, there will be a Smackdown 2 Definitive Edition. Also, the footage in my intro is actually not from Smackdown 1 or 2, it's from the Definitive Edition. That is my mod, so no worries there will be. Also, the mod is built on the August press preview build, not on the retail build. Therefore, there are no issues with Ken Shamrock or the Big Show appearing in season mode whatsoever.
Spencer2745 writes, loving these videos. I found your channel from seeing New Legacy Inc. playing your mod from Here Comes the Pain. Can't wait to see what you do with future games. I always wonder if Smackdown vs. Raw 2008 had any Chris Benoit screenshots or gameplay in the game save files, or whatever you'd call them, before he was taken out of the game.
It does. I actually have a very, very early build of Smackdown vs. Raw 2008 for the Xbox 360, which has Chris Benoit still intact. We'll get to that though on rebuilding Smackdown vs. Raw 2008.
William Grantham asked, hey Scott J01, can you upload Rebuilding Raw Series Episode 4 WWF Raw?
I assume you're asking, will I be doing Rebuilding Raw? Yes, I will, but it won't be next episode. Next episode of Rebuilding SmackDown will be Rebuilding SmackDown Episode 4, SmackDown 2, Know Your Role.
Chow King 24 asked, do you know what you're going to do with the upcoming changes to YouTube?
No, because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, therefore I cannot advertise on this channel yet. But obviously in the future, it is something to, I suppose, worry about. Luckily, I've checked my analytics, and it says this channel, the viewing demographic is 18 to 34 and 34 to 49. No one else has really looked at it, so hopefully that continues. I have put a video that I finished on hold though, which is a 10-year look back at Dragon Ball Raging Blast. It does come with a mod at the end, and it's for PlayStation 3 and 360, but I did decide to put that on hold until after December 9th, just so I could see what happens to, I suppose, bigger YouTubers of that type of content, because it's still gaming content, but obviously I have no idea if games are even going to be encompassed in this, because right now it is very much the toy community and things like that, and the crafts and things like that, but the wording is very different, so I have no idea. If worse comes to worse, I will find another platform to host those videos, and we'll just let you know here. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just keeping my options open at the moment.
And lastly, Mepsi Pax asked, how does your hair stand up like that? Liam DeFantia replied, he's part Saiyan. He's correct.
That's it for questions, but Thanksgiving is right around the corner. As a thank you to all my Patreons on Thanksgiving Day, you will receive a very special Thanksgiving gift. If you'd like to join in on the fun, head on over to patreon.com/ScottJ and help support this series. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. The next video will be the Smackdown Shut Your Mouth features video, and soon after that, the Smackdown Here Comes the Pain update video. So stay tuned for those, and until next time guys, take care.